guys, and welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to work on a little bit more math. So I've posted one video like this before. You guys seem to really benefit from it. This is actually perfect timing this term as we are ending term 2 and we've got a bunch of students getting ready to take their national exam. So hopefully this will be helpful for you as well. So we are going to work today on how much do you need. I don't have a real name for that. But really finding out just how many tablets or how much of a medication you need for a specific prescription. So we are going to jump right into this. There's not really a formula for this, guys. I want to make sure that that is made very clear. There's no exact formula for this, but it's pretty basic. You're going to find out how much is being taken each time. Are you taking 1 tablet? Are you taking 5 milliliters? Are you taking 1 teaspoon, etc.? Then you're going to multiply that by how many times a day it's being taken. Okay, so are you taking 1 tablet 2 times a day? Are you taking 1 tablet 3 times a day? Are you taking it 1 time a day? And then you're going to multiply that by how many days the patient is taking it for. So then you might have, I'm taking 1 tablet 2 times a day for 5 days. Okay, and that's really how we're going to go about the majority of these problems. So let's do some examples here. All right, example 1 says, again, guys, you cannot do math for pharmacy if you do not know your SIG codes and your conversions. You must know those. But this says take 2 capsules by mouth 3 times a day for 30 days. How many capsules do you need to fill this prescription? So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to find out how many capsules we need to take each time. How much are we taking each time? The answer is 2. Taking 2 capsules each time. We're going to multiply that by how many times a day we take 2 capsules. We take 2 capsules 3 times a day. 2 times 3 equals 6. How many days do we take 6 tablets a day for? We do that for 30 days. 6 times 30 equals, again, guys, I am no math whiz. You have all heard me tell you that I hate math. It is not my strong point. You will have a calculator on your national exam. So do not get cocky. Don't think, oh, I know this answer, and then make a silly mistake. Use your calculator. 6 times 30 equals 180. And we're done. It's that simple, guys. We need 180 capsules to fill this prescription. Let's do another one. This one says, I stopped there for a second because I want to make sure that you guys know how to read these on your own too. So here we have take 3 tablets by mouth 2 times a day for 20 days. How many tablets do you need to fill this prescription? And we're going to do it exactly the same way. How many tablets do we take each time, guys? We take 3 tablets each time. How many times a day do we take 3 tablets? 2 times a day. 3 times 2 equals 6. How many days do we take 6 tablets a day for? 6 times 20 equals, use your calculator, 120 tablets. You need 120 tablets to fill this prescription. Take a second to read the next one to yourself. This one says, take 1 tablet by mouth 4 times a day for 90 days. How many tablets do you need to fill this prescription? We're doing this exactly the same, guys. How many tablets do you take each time? 1. How many times a day do you take 1 tablet? 4. 1 times 4 equals 4. How many days do you take 4 tablets a day for? 4 times 90 equals. Use your calculator. The answer is 360 tablets to fill this prescription. Okay, now it's going to get a little different, so bear with me here and listen up. First of all, go ahead and take a second to read this to yourself. Make sure that you know how to read it thoroughly and correctly. All right, this one says, take 2 tablets by mouth every 4 to 6 hours as needed for pain for 10 days. How many tablets do you need to fill this prescription? Couple of things here. Well, for this one, just one thing really that we're doing different. Whenever the doctor gives an option of how often a patient can take a medication, as a pharmacy technician, you are always going to choose the one that allows the patient to take it the most times, okay? If I take out the trash every 4 hours and you take out the trash every 6 hours, who took it out more times? I did. I took it out every 4 hours, okay? But for our formula, guys, if we go back to that formula, we want to know how many times a day this is, okay? What this is telling us is just how, like every 4 to 6 hours, every 4 hours. So now we know we're going to choose this every 4 hours, but we still need to decide how many times a day is every 4 hours. There are 24 hours in a day, always. If I take out the trash every 4 hours, 24 divided by 4 is 6. It means I took out the trash 6 times a day. This patient's going to take this medication 6 times a day. Okay? So we're just going to cross this right out, and now we know it's 6. And now we go and we do exactly what we did before. How many tablets do we take each time, guys? The answer is 2. How many times a day do we take 2 tablets? The answer is 6. 2 times 6 equals 12. How many days do we take 12 tablets a day for? 12 times 10. And again, even if you feel like you know it in your head, I would encourage you to use your calculator. 12 times 10 equals 120 tablets. You need 120 tablets to fill this prescription. Go ahead and read this one to yourself. This says take 2 teaspoons by mouth 3 times a day for 5 days. How many milliliters do you need to fill this prescription? Okay, so now we're going to learn something new again. Because our question is asking how many milliliters we need, we have to transfer this teaspoons. We have to convert this to milliliters. Okay, this is why it's important to know your conversions. 1 teaspoon equals how many milliliters? 5 milliliters. So 2 teaspoons would equal how many milliliters? 10. How many milliliters do we take each time? That's our question. How many milliliters do we take each time? You can say to yourself, how many teaspoons do you take each time? You still have to move that to milliliters. We take 2 teaspoons each time, which is the same thing as 10 milliliters. How many times a day do we take 10 milliliters? 3. 10 times 3 equals 30. How many days do we take 30 milliliters a day for? 5 days. 30 times 5 equals 150 milliliters. You need 150 milliliters to fill this prescription. Next one, go ahead and read this one to yourself. This one says take 2 teaspoons by mouth every 6 to 8 hours as needed for cough for 7 days. How many milliliters do you need to fill this prescription? And now we are going to combine both things that we just learned in number 6 and number 7 there. And we are going to put it all together. So the first thing that we need to do when we see a prescription like this is we need to look at this guy right here. We know that because the doctor is giving an option of how often the patient can take the medication, as a pharmacy technician, we're always going to choose the one that allows the patient to take it the most times. If I get dressed, if I change my outfit every 6 hours and you change your outfit every 8 hours, who changed their outfit more times? I did. 24 hours in a day divided by my 6 outfits every 6 hours equals 4. I did that 4 times a day. We have to find out how many times a day it is. Okay. The next thing that we're going to look at is that we want our answer to be in milliliters. They want to know how many milliliters. So we have to convert this teaspoons to milliliters. 1 teaspoon again equals 5 milliliters. Okay. So we know that we take how many teaspoons do we take each time? We take 2 teaspoons each time. We're going to take this right down here because we need to know how many milliliters are in 2 teaspoons. 10 milliliters in 2 teaspoons. How many times a day do we take 10 milliliters? 10 times 4 equals 40. How many times or how many days do we take 40 milliliters a day for? 7. 40 times 7 equals 280 milliliters. Guys, be careful too on your calculator. I typed mine in and I accidentally typed 4 times 7. And if I wasn't paying attention, I might have used that on my national exam. Okay, so don't let that, do not get mixed up by those types of things. Yeah, I did a double take and I thought there's no way 40 times 7 is 28. Okay, so you have to make sure you're watching too. Make sure you're putting those correctly into your calculator. 280 milliliters needed to fill this prescription. Couple more left, guys. Go ahead and read this one to yourself. This one says take 2 tablespoons by mouth every 4 to 6 hours for 10 days. How many milliliters do you need to fill this prescription? It is very important that you do not mix up your teaspoons and tablespoons. You must know that teaspoon is TSP and tablespoon is TBSP, or you could really, really mess up your answer, okay? Here, we're going to look at this first. Every 4 to 6 hours, we know we're going to choose the one that allows the patient to take it the most times, which is every 4 hours. There are 24 hours in a day. So if every 4 hours would be 6 times a day, we can just cross this guy right out. We know this is 6 times a day. Here, we need to look at this because they're asking for milliliters. Okay. How many milliliters in a tablespoon, guys? 15 milliliters in a tablespoon. Okay. So how many tablespoons do we take each time? We know that we take 2 tablespoons each time. How many milliliters is that? If there's 15 milliliters in 1 tablespoon, 15 times 2 is 30. We know that we take 30 milliliters each time now. How many times a day do we do that? 6. 30 times 6 equals 180. How many days do we take 180 milliliters a day for? 10. 180 times 10 equals 1,800 milliliters to fill this prescription, guys. Last one. Go ahead and read that to yourself and we'll do it together. This one says take 1 teaspoon by mouth every 2 to 4 hours for 4 days. How many milliliters do you need to fill this prescription? You're not very commonly going to see every 2 to 4 hours. This one is here just for practice, but we're going to look at this guy first, of course. You do something every 2 hours and I do something every 4 hours. Who did it more? Me. As a pharmacy technician, we're always going to choose the one that allows the patient to take it the most times. In this case, it is every 2 hours, but we need to know how many times a day that is. 24 hours in a day divided by 2 equals 12. So we can cross this out. We know this patient does this 12 times a day. That's a lot. Okay. Again, this is not a very common one. You're not going to see this. Then we look at this. We know that because they want their answer in milliliters, we must convert our teaspoons to milliliters. We know that 1 teaspoon equals 5 milliliters. We know that we take 5 milliliters every time. How many times a day, or yes, how many times a day do we take 5 milliliters? 12. 5 times 12 equals, I believe it is 60. Let's do it on our calculator. 5 times 12 equals 60. How many days do we take 60 milliliters a day for? 60 times 4 equals 240. 240 milliliters to fill this prescription. So see, guys, ultimately we do the same exact thing every time for these problems. You just have to determine how much you are taking each time, how many times a day, and how many times you are doing that for. Try not to overthink it. Make some problems for yourself and practice them. And if you are in this class currently studying for your national exam, don't hesitate to send those to your coach or to myself so that we can review them with you and let you know if you were correct. If you have not already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. It is very helpful for us, and we will continue to make content like this. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please let us know in the comment section below. We'll see you next time.